was on the cast, and she's been replaced because her original partner canceled themselves due to their actions, and thus we cannot put him on the final cast, and thus Laurel also got taken off. Now that we have those rules established, let's get into the cast itself. I divided them into 4 divisions: OGs, staples, wildcards, and rookies. Starting off with the OGs, these are players like Bananas, Wes, CT, Kara, who you just have to assume are going to be on because they bring so much star power to the show. Kara's relationship with the show is a little bit hazy right now. However, we are putting her on because she is an important figure, and she does add so much to the show, especially when it comes to female rivalries. When Kara is on the show, MTV actually has to care about women, rather than when they pretend to do on other seasons. Our first Exes pair is one of our centerpiece teams. It is the couple of Cara Maria Sorbello and Kyle Christie. They first met on the Challenge Vendettas, Kyle's rookie season, where they had a showmance. After the season, Cara took Kyle home to Boston, where he met her family, and they spent the holidays together. Afterwards, Kyle kind of just ghosted her, went to Thailand for a few months, and then they filmed Final Reckoning together, where all the poly stuff happened. Kyle hooked up with Faith and Ashley, and it was just a mess. That spanned a 3-season rivalry between Final Reckoning, War of the Worlds 1, and War of the Worlds 2. War of the Worlds 1, Kara versus Kyle, was one of the biggest storylines of the season, and now that it's been a few years since they've broken up, it seems like the right time for them to pair for an Exes season. They will be dysfunctional, and they will be a strong team. This is why you do an Exes season for pairs like this. Our next pairing is the duo of Johnny Bananas and Melissa Reeves. They hooked up after the Challenge Vendettas when they did their little mercenary twist in the finals. They went to their hotel rooms, had a bit of fun, and they will be a pair this season because it is Johnny Bananas and he needs at least a decent partner, and Melissa is more than decent. She's had a baby, and on top of that, she also has her friendship/relationship with Kyle that I personally found very adorable, very endearing. Even though Kyle has a girlfriend, back when he was filming Total Madness, and even now, there's just something between them. They're just a really good couple together. Melissa is simply made for reality television. She is super hot, an underrated competitor, and can kill people with words in the drama aspect of the game. For Bananas partners, I also considered Natalie Negrati and Angela Babix. Switching from a one-night fling to a legitimate long-term relationship that is an OG throwback that was over a decade ago, it is Wes Bergman and Kellyanne Judd. Kellyanne and Wes started dating after she filmed The Island. This was big news as up to that point, Wes hadn't been on the show in a couple years and he had recently split from Johanna, so this was his first public relationship. They were together for a couple years and they were a legitimate couple. Then they went and filmed The Ruins together. He famously got targeted early on, and thus that affected Kellyanne's game as she was also targeted. Their relationship ended right before the filming of Fresh Meat 2, where Wes had promised Kellyanne that he would not hook up with anyone on that season, and then proceeded to hook up with Teresa, to which Kellyanne, who was staying at Wes's place, decided to trash it once she heard the news, which to me is a completely fair response, because Wes lied and he cheated. Kellyanne is Wes's only ex who is somewhat still in the casting pool. On top of that, Kellyanne is just a great cast member. Even though she's a bit older, she's still down to hook up, she's still into the party aspect of life, and her confessionals are pretty funny. So Kellyanne, good competitor, and they should make a decent pair, though they are a bit undersized. This next pair is out of left field, considering the fact that Nany has had so many on-screen hookups over the years, yet the person we're pairing her with is more of an off-screen hookup, and that is CT. If you haven't always followed the gossip mill, that's completely fine. I'm going to fill you in right here. After Rivals 2, it was heavily rumored that CT and Nany were kind of friends with benefits, had a bit of a fling. Along with that, on Rivals 2 itself, in the trailer, there's a scene where CT and Nany are making out. That was not seen on the actual season. However, there is the scene where DM is very mad at Nany, and they make up the fake rap where they trash her a bit. Nany is a solid player and is a much better option than most of CT's exes. The only other person I considered for CT was Laurel, and at the end of the day, I just think that's just a little bit too overpowered of a pair. The next 4 pairs are what I call the staples, and these are not the OGs, but they are the players who become consistent members of the franchise, or at least one player in the pair is. The obvious first staple pairing for Exes 3 is Jordan Wisely and Tori Deal, who recently broke up their engagement after getting together on Dirty 30 and getting engaged on War of the Worlds 2. Now, this is a weird relationship because some people hated it, some people loved it while it was happening, and now here we are. Jordan always talked about wanting to run a final with Tori, but now that everything they've gone through together, I don't know if he still wants to run a final with her. They should make for great television and they should be a strong pair. Flipping over from a couple who is actually engaged to just a one-night stand, and we have the team of Tony Raines and Ashley Mitchell. They hooked up on the Challenge Rivals 3 after Jessica McCain, Tony's showmance at that time, got eliminated. While Tony and Ashley don't have much relationship history, they do have a lot of challenge history, where on Invasion of the Champions, Ashley voted Tony into the first 2 eliminations he was eligible for and thus sent him home. And then on Final Reckoning on social media, Tony kept throwing jabs at Ashley's alliance. He kept calling them the Lavender Losers, which isn't completely accurate for Ashley considering she's totaled over $1 million in winnings on this show. Regardless of their personal drama, they should make for a formidable pair. Along with that, it's been a few seasons since Tony's been on, thus I think his return would get an overall positive reception. Next up is the pair of Nelson Thomas and Kaylee Morris. They were a showmance on both Vendettas and Final Reckoning. Their relationship ended after Nelson was caught sending dick pics on his phone while visiting Kaylee in the UK. We were supposed to get closure on their relationship with them filming an Ex on the Beach UK season together, except we didn't get that because a cast member on that season committed suicide, so the British version of MTV decided to cancel the season altogether. Nelson is a top tier cast member where at the very least, he's going to bring some comedic relief to the show and potentially adds drama, hookups, and competition. Meanwhile, Kaylee has been solid on her shows. I mean, she technically still has a 3-0 elimination record. Our last staple pair is the War of the Worlds showmance of Cam Williams and Theo Campbell. Cam has only had 2 relationships in her challenge career. One is Leroy, who she's currently dating, and the other is Theo. I think Theo is one of the best recent casting additions. Not just because he's an elite competitor physically, but because he gets into so much drama. He gets into at least 3 fights a season, and it's not the bad drama. It's not the drama that Josh Martinez gets into. Theo goes at it with some of the top physical players in the game, and he's not willing to back down. He's not afraid of them because he can take them. There's also part of me pulling for him just to get back on the show after his traumatic eye injury. Giving him a strong partner like Killa Cam, who's one of the female faces of the franchise, that should make them a big target and also a big threat to win. Next, we have 3 wildcard couples that we are somewhat shooting out of from left field. The first wildcard pair is the Final Reckoning showmance of Amanda Garcia and Joss Mooney. Amanda is a perfect cast member because you definitely have strong opinions about her, and that means she's doing her job well. Whether you hate her, love her, or just have a really nuanced opinion, she's someone who brings a big impact to the show. Similar to her best friend Nelson, you know that Amanda is going to fill the drama requirement for the show and heat things up. If she brings competitive and strategic elements to the game, then that's a huge bonus. Amanda hasn't been on the show since War of the Worlds 1, since she gave birth to a child and had a relationship. However, her relationship with that man is now over, and she is somewhat open to the idea of returning to the show, and bringing her back right now while she has the time, that would be huge. Joss's role in their duo is just be a physical beast, be a supportive partner, because we know you're not going to bring it on the drama aspect, we know you're not going to bring it on the comedic aspect, just be a good partner, because Amanda, she fills those drama, political, social aspects of the game, and together they could be a very strong duo. Zach and Amanda were one of the top pairs on Final Reckoning before they blew up. Josh isn't going to want to drive the car like Zach did, thus if he can just follow Amanda's lead and they can just be a good, compatible duo, they can go far. Next up is the pair of Jay Starrett and Morgan Willett. Jay has become a fan favorite in recent seasons, especially after his huge elimination upset win over CT. Morgan was the Big Brother Over the Top winner and currently dates Johnny Bananas. Together, I think they should be a solid pair, and as a whole, the main reason they are a pair is because we want to get Jay on the show. His only other eligible ex is Dee Nguyen, who is banned from the show. I also believe Morgan has the potential to be a very strong player. She won her Big Brother season, came in second place on the original Purge Challenge of War of the Worlds 1, won her first daily challenge, and then was eliminated second, mostly because of Johnny Bananas, not because of her. Our last wildcard duo is coming from deep out of left field, and that is the pair of Mark Long and Liz Nolan. Recently, Darrell set the record for oldest challenge competitor ever at 41 years old, and Mark Long is here to shatter that record at 49 years old. Bringing him on is his 29-year-old ex, Liz Nolan, who was the runner-up of Big Brother 17, and also was the first person purged on War of the Worlds 1. I think Liz has a lot of potential on the show. She's a great confessional. She's a decent competitor, even though, she got purged on that first challenge. But if you watch her Big Brother season, she's sociable, she's competitive. They will make a strong pair, especially if she has Mark Long, who is the godfather, one of the greatest social players in challenge history. Mark Long worked his ass off on social media to get the We Want OGs reboot/show off the ground. Putting him on season 37 would add ratings to either the We Want OG show, or the We Want OG show would add ratings to season 37. Next up, we have our 4 rookie pairs, where at least one player among these pairs is a rookie. Our first rookie pair is the Big Brother 20 couple of Fessy Shafat and Haley Brocker. If you haven't been following social media, Fessy and Haley, who have been together since Big Brother 20, recently broke up right before the filming of Double Agents. And there's some conflict between the two. Each of them has their own Patreon where they're telling their sides of the story, where they're kind of blaming one another. The fact that they're doing this on Patreon means they're monetizing their drama breakup. And how could you monetize it even better? By going on the challenge Exes 3. While Haley has declined some calls for the challenge in the past, she is starting up her own swimsuit line, and getting more eyes on her and more social media followers is only good for business. Likewise, Fessy has become an important figure on the show, and they are going through a messy breakup right now, which is perfect for reality television. Going from Big Brother to Survivor, we have our first ever Survivor Exes couple on the challenge, and that is Wendell Holland and Michelle Fitzgerald. Wendell won season 36 of Survivor Ghost Island and then appeared on Survivor Winners at War. Likewise, Michelle won season 32 of Survivor Ko Rong and then appeared on Winners at War as well. They revealed on that season that they had dated, Michelle calling him an ex, whereas Wendell kind of saying that she was mostly just a hiccup, that they just kind of kicked it. When casting an exes season, hearing one person say they're exes and the other person saying they were a hookup, that's the type of drama and relationship you want. As they proved on Survivor, they are strong political threats as they won their games. Michelle actually was the runner-up of the Winners of War season, coming in 3rd place. Both of them have somewhat dipped their toes in the challenge water. Wendell has live tweeted some challenge episodes and is a fan of the franchise, whereas Michelle was originally supposed to be on War of the Worlds 1 and then dropped out at the last minute. I don't know if it was production who dropped her or she who dropped out. Nonetheless, Michelle is definitely interested, as she posted a poll on Twitter asking her fans if she should do the challenge. It might be an uphill battle for the duo as a Survivor pair on a mostly veteran cast. At the same time, if you're a fan of Survivor and the challenge, this is a pair you want on the show. Switching over from Survivor to X on the Peak of Love, we have the rookie couple of Georgia Steele and Callum Izzard. They became a couple on X on the Peak, the 4th season of the US version of X on the Beach. They are very young and they got engaged on the show, and they've recently split. We are casting this duo 99% because of Georgia Steele. She was supposed to be on War of the Worlds 2 and then dropped out at the last minute because of a family emergency, but this girl is a future star in the making based on her personality. She stirs up drama like it's nobody's business, whether it be on Love Island or X on the Peak, and the girl is still only 22, 23 years old. She's young and she's going to bring so much to the show. Also, she already has 1.6 million Instagram followers, so we have to cast her now before she gets too famous for the show. And our last team isn't actually a pair. It is our first ever challenge throuple. This is a twist. The throuple consists of Justin Palm, Max Gentile, and Amber Martinez. Amber Martinez had a little bit of a thing going with Max and Justin, where she was their best friends, such they would hook up and have threesomes, and they were kind of an iconic trio. Rather than give Amber one of them as her partner, I'm giving them both guys as her partner, and they will have to switch off between daily challenges and eliminations as her partner. When it comes to endurance challenges like mini finals and the actual final itself, all 3 of them will have to run it all together. It is a bit of an outside the box idea. If you hate it, I'm sorry and I apologize. If you love it, you're welcome. I'm a genius. And that is our Exes 3 cast. Please tell me your thoughts on couples that you think should be on the season, couples you were surprised weren't on the list, couples you wouldn't want to see on the show. Just tell me whatever you want. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for watching.